So now that we've had our birthday celebration for all those that are having a birthday today, let's get into our topic. We're going to talk about something that is very important and it's been on my mind for a while. And I told you in my last video about selfishness and self centeredness. Now, when one talks about self centeredness, there is a fine line between being a self centered person and being selfish. But as far as self centeredness is concerned, you can observe these characteristics in a person that's self centered. To make it plain and simple, when you're talking about someone that's self centered, you're talking about someone that is always the center of attention. Always. Not sometimes, maybe most of the time, but when someone is always the center of attention. For example, there could be a situation going on where someone just got hit by a car, right? And let's say it's this person that just got hit by a car is a person that everyone knows. Okay? Now, since this person has just gotten hit by a car, everyone's attention is basically on the situation concerning the person that just got hit by a car. However, you have someone there that says, well, there's nothing we can do about that. Let's go to Walmart. And before that time, it was, okay, we're on the phone. Everyone's ready to leave. But no, this person wants to stay on the phone. But everyone wants to leave. But this person wants to stay on the phone. And the reason why this person wants to stay on the phone is because I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this for you. So can't you at least give me a few more minutes? The time after that, or let's say the time before that, everyone was ready to leave from the cultural event. But this person wanted to stay longer, just like this person wanted to go to Walmart. This person wanted to stay on the phone longer for the conference call, just like this person wants to stay in the cultural event longer than everybody expected. So it's always this person has to be the center of attention. The attention is on this person because the person's wants and desires are being satisfied by other people. And at the same time, this person that is getting the attention doesn't want to give the attention to anyone else. That's being self centered. Also, as you can see, at the same time, when this person wants this attention because he or she wants to have his or her own way, shows controlling characteristics. Are you self centered? Is it that you have to be the center of attention all the time? Let me say this to you. Just because you're a self centered person doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a person like any other person, but a person that is self centered. So, what do you need to do? First, you need to recognize that you're a self centered person. A self centered person feels as though the rules and the policies and the laws that everyone has to go by, that person feels as though he or she is above that or don't have to adhere to them in terms of laws or rules. And everything is about that person, wants and desires. If someone says to you, out of concern and love and respect for you, and tells you that you're a self centered person, you ask that person why you said that. And how do you come to the conclusion of me being a self centered person? Listen to what that person says to you. Consider the source. If this person is a person that always looks out for you, if this person is someone that you enjoy being around, every time you are around them or around this person, that person's eyes light up because that person likes being around you. Listen to that person because if you don't, you may not have that person around to listen to. Again, take heed to what people say to you, regardless if you feel as though they are quote unquote hating or jealous. Now, a selfish person is a person that does not allow anyone to have anything. That person has to have everything. Very close to being self centered, but greedy takes the cake. Or let's say selfishness. When you're selfish, that takes the cake. Selfish and greedy are very, 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 very close together. Because when you're selfish, you take everything. When you're greedy, you take everything. Everything and for no one else. So when you're selfish, you don't share. So if you know people like that are selfish, greedy, and they do not share, it's not good to be around that person because that person will drain you. And you don't want to be drained. As far as relationships are concerned, a selfish or self centered person can drain you. But guess what? You could be with a self centered person and know it because you're self centered yourself. If this person is giving and loves you unconditionally and doesn't have anything that they can find on you to be appalling or repulsive or They can't find anything that they dislike about you because they're wearing rose colored glasses, I guess you can say. However, your thoughts are set on the person's shortcomings and you're trying to change that person. And the reason why you're changing that person, and you may think you're trying to change that person to better that person, but actually you're trying to change that person because that's what you want that person to be like. And you give that person a time limit. That's controlling. Not only is that controlling, that is not being considerate. That's being inconsiderate to someone that you so call treasure, adore, and appreciate. So if you have someone, for example, a friend said to me about a relationship that the person said, we both have dominant personalities. It wasn't that they just had dominant personalities. In some form or fashion, they were both self centered. You don't have to have all the attributes of being self centered, but if there are some attributes of being self centered, then what you have to do, you have to look at the man in the mirror and say to yourself, okay, I know I'm this way. I know I'm this way. I know I'm this way. And 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 this way. And this way. And this way. So, what I am going to do, I'm going to work on each one of those characteristics of me being self centered. In order to change, first, you need to make sure that there needs to be a change. Once you find that there needs to be a change, then you need to find out what you need to change. And then once you find out what you need to change, then what you need to do, you need to, on a daily basis, work on changing those characteristics. Easy said than done. Easy said than done, but you're working. And making that attempt to change yourself for the better is the first step in taking responsibility for yourself. But the opposite of being self centered, being selfish, being greedy, is being selfless, taking yourself out of the situation, but putting yourself in a situation when it comes to someone else having a situation that is not beneficial to him or her. For example, if you have someone that came up to you and was upset, and the person was upset because he just lost a large lump sum of money. He lost it because maybe he was robbed, maybe he lost it gambling, Or maybe he had to pay a bill. And as a result, he had no more money left. So he came to you and he was upset. What do? He comes to you, he's upset. He vents to you what has happened. And because you already know what to do when someone's venting to you, that's just listen. Not offering any advice at that point in time. Just listen because the person just needs for someone to be an ear and not a judge. So this person is venting to you at this point in time. They have to get it out because it's bottled up right now, and they need to let it go. They need to talk with someone that's not going to judge them, that's not going to say, I told you so, but someone that will be empathetic. Not sympathetic, but empathetic. That's being selfless. Because when you are selfless, you don't tell somebody what you would have done. What you do is put yourself in that person's shoes. That's called being empathetic. That's called empathizing. When you empathize, you put yourself in that person's shoes. And because you have a mind of your own, what you will do, you would and you what you would do, you would imagine what it would be like to be in that situation. And depending upon your experiences that you have achieved in life, be it firsthand purposeful experience or vicarious experience. And when I say vicarious experience, I'm talking about experience that you get from watching television, documentaries, listening to the radio, talking with people and they telling you of their experiences, listening to people that are singing, and in their songs deliver messages that may strike a chord or bring back a memory that you can identify with. When you empathize, you put yourself in that person's shoes. You may not agree with what happened. For example, the person gambled. That was a foolish mistake. True. But you don't judge that person on that. Because although you may not have done that, you may have done something else that you know wasn't smart to do. Just like gambling isn't smart to do because you can lose. And especially if you don't have a lot of money and you don't know how to take minimal risks, the outcome can be unbearable. So you don't judge that person. You listen to what the person has to say, and that way you empathize by putting yourself in that person's shoes. And that way you get to be able to come to an understanding. People do things that aren't beneficial to them for many reasons. Those reasons can differ. There are multiple reasons why people do things that they're not supposed to do. One reason, because they feel like it. They're not being responsible for their behavior. Is it right? No. Is it smart? No. Do people do them? Yes. Why? It's different reasons. But let me say this. When you empathize, you put yourself in that person's shoes, and enable in order for you to put yourself in that person's shoes, you can reflect on your experience and say, okay, now I understand how this person feels. And what you can do is talk with that person afterwards, especially if the person says, so what do you think about that? You have to know what to say. First, do not try to accuse the person of anything. What you may want to say is, how do you feel about gambling like you did? And then the person will go on to talk about how they feel right now. And then you can ask the person, well, how did you feel before you did it? Or while you were in the process of doing it, how did you feel? And then you ask the person, well, would you do that again now that you know that this is the outcome? And they will say no, most likely. And by you asking questions like that, takes you out of the scenario by blaming or making yourself look like you're self centered by offering this is what you would do. Let's help this person help him or herself. Now that this has happened, how do you feel? How did you feel before you did it? Now, how do you feel after the deed is done or after the deed was done? So it's important to know yourself and it's important to identify people of their characteristics because if you're looking to be in a relationship with someone, you have to ask the serious questions. You have to. And that will allow you to make an intelligible decision in terms of connecting with someone. But always remember, before you connect with someone, make sure that that person is your best friend. And not only that, make sure you appreciate and you respect that person because that is important.